Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily. Today I don't have a favorite makeup because I'm not yet wearing any. It's early in the morning at this point, but I wanted to do some quick filming about some of the things I picked up at IMATS New York over the weekend, so let's get started. So I'm going to break these videos up, I think, into three. Today I'm only going to be covering the purchases I made at the Sugarpill booth. So this is a brand that I have seen a lot on Instagram, and I've seen a lot of people on YouTube use some of the products. The eyeshadows look really exciting, they're really beautiful, very pigmented, and also the lipsticks also have been very intriguing to me, but it's just not something I ever picked up. Mostly because I think it's online only. I've never seen it in person before. So this was a booth that I was deliberately going to go check out because I really wanted to see what the products look like in person. So I had a relatively strict budget for this trade show. I didn't want to spend too much money, so I had a certain amount of cash with me, and then I knew a lot of other places only would take a card, so whatever I had available, once the money ran out, that was it. I was not going to buy anything else. So I checked out this particular booth, and when I got there, so all of their eyeshadows were half price, and most of their lipsticks were as well. So I ended up picking up 2 eyeshadow singles, and then I also picked up 2 of the bullet lipsticks. So I'm going to do some swatches for you today because I also compared these 2 eyeshadows to other eyeshadows that I already own, because of course I'm drawn to the same kind of colors over and over again. However, I'm really enjoying the formula on these. I'm aware that Sugarpill is discontinuing a lot of their eyeshadow products, and that is why everything was on sale. So some of these colors may not continue to be available, but I'm sure they'll make something comparable, and if nothing else, they're pretty cool looking. So we're going to start off with this eyeshadow single. This is in the shade Ice Angel. So I'm going to pull this out, I'm going to do a swatch, and then I'm going to show you some comparisons underneath it. So here are the swatches. So this top shade, this is the Ice Angel shade from Sugarpill. I think it's a really beautiful iridescent blue, and then below that we've got a variety of things from my collection that I thought might be similar, and I'll talk about what is actually the closest. So the first shade down actually didn't turn out to be as similar as I was expecting. This is the shade LEO from the Urban Decay Kristen, Leanne Kaleidoscope Dream Palette. This is definitely more of a green shade. It's not blue. The next one down is the Aquamarine shade from the Becca Ocean Jewels Highlighter Palette. That one is very similar, actually. It's one of the closer ones. There's actually more of a purple undertone to that particular one, so it's not as close as I was expecting either. Next one down is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit. That's in the shade Blue Ice. That's definitely a much lighter blue as opposed to this has more of a purple to it, so those are not the same either. Next up is the Milk Makeup Holographic Powder Quad. So that one is kind of close, but there's more of a purple undertone to that one. Below that is actually from the Urban Decay Great and Powerful Oz. This is the Glinda palette. It is the shade Aura. That's a split pan. That's half like blue, half pink. I didn't know how that one was going to go. I actually found this palette. It was hiding in my highlighters, and I had forgotten that it was there. I completely skipped it in the declutter. I think I just moved it out of the way because it was in the wrong place, and I never actually put it back. So I pulled that out to see. That one's actually pretty powdery, so I may have to declutter that palette. I need to take a closer look at it because it's kind of old and I barely ever used it, but it doesn't match this shadow either. Below that, so third from the bottom, that is from the Makeup Revolution Ultra Cool Glow Highlighter Palette. The pigmentation on that is not great. The color is okay. It's actually a fairly similar color, but I would definitely say that the Sugarpill appears to be much higher quality. And then the last 2 are from the Kat Von D Alchemist palette. The top one is the Saphyre shade, and then this is the Ultraviolet shade. Of all of these shadows put together, I would say that the Ultraviolet shade is probably the closest, but there's more of a white undertone to Ice Angel, so it's definitely a different shade. However, obviously, you can get a very similar look with any one of these, probably with the exception of this guy up at the top. This one is definitely more green, but, you know, it's not like they're that different. However, I do think they're really pretty, and I'm excited to use the shadow because I think the quality is really nice, and even though it is a single, I did pick up a new empty palette for me to use during the Sephora sale, so I'm going to plug that right in there. Next up, we're going to look at the shade Kitten Parade. This is sort of like a pinky, orangey, sort of very foiled finish shadow. This one is cruelty-free, but it is not vegan. It does contain carmine. And so here's Kitten Parade on the top. This one swatched so beautifully, and the reason I bought this is because I was pretty sure it was going to be a duplicate for something in a palette that I wanted to declutter except for one shade. And it is! So that first shade down, this is from the Urban Decay Afterdark palette. This is the shade Scene, and they're basically an exact duplicate. I was keeping this palette mostly for Scene because all the other colors I could pretty much dupe out, but I loved this Scene shade. Now that I have this, I don't need to keep this. So officially the Afterdark palette is being decluttered. Below that, it's a little bit darker, but it's in the same family. This is from the Violet Voss Rainbow palette. That is the peach shade. They're not an exact match, but they are very similar, and I bet they'd go very nicely together. So while I do like this one, it does not match Kitten Parade. Below that is from the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. That is the shade Angelic. So that shade is very similar. There's more pink to it than gold, but it is a very similar color. It doesn't quite have the same glintiness as the top one, but they also probably would pair together very nicely as well. And the last shade is from the Tarte Make Believe in Yourself palette. That is the shade in Pixie. That is also kind of similar, but it's not nearly as foily or as fancy. I do like that palette. It's really lovely and it smells really good. The color payoff is not quite as blinding as this though. So I am super excited. I really like this single. I think it looks awesome. I put a little bit on my eyes the other day and I thought it looked beautiful, and it finally is going to give me the opportunity to get rid of that Urban Decay Afterdark palette. Not that that is a bad palette, it's just I have a lot of dupes for it, so I don't really need to keep that one. So while you know, it's going to go to a new home and that'll be great, I'm really excited I was able to find a duplicate for that particular shade, because that really was my favorite shade in the entire palette. And last, I picked up two of the Bullet lipsticks. This is in the shade Dark Sided and this is in the shade Glint. So I'm going to do a quick swatch in the back of my hand of each of these, and then I'm going to pick one for the day. I'm pretty sure I'm going with Dark Sided, just so you can see what that looks like. And then I actually have to get going, so we're going to wrap this up. So this is what the packaging looks like on these Dark Sided. Looks really, really dark and like a cherry color. It turns out it's actually a purple, and I love me a purple. This is a matte lipstick, and that is the swatch for it. I was just really impressed with how it's swatched, and I thought that the packaging was so cute, and these were only $9, so I was definitely going to pick up more than one. And then this is the shade in Glint. This is a beautiful gold lipstick. A lipstick color I probably didn't need, or probably something similar. However, the pigmentation on this was really great, and they swipe on so beautifully, like with just one swipe, which I guess is part of the marketing of that. So I'm definitely into it. I think I'm going to put Dark Sided on today, and then I'm going to be headed out to the gym and see how this wears. So I will definitely update you in a future video how the lipstick performed for me, but let's get started. And here is the shade Dark Sided now that I put it on. I'll admit that the formula is a little dry. It was a little bit difficult to get that first, like, initial coat on, but then actually it layers really nicely. So I hope it's gonna wear well. I do think the color is great, so, and the packaging is adorable. It's very glittery, so I'm hoping that I don't hate this. Just initial impression is that, you know, the initial try-on's a little bit hard to do. It's tugging on my lips a bit. So now that I got it on, it does look pretty good. It might just be a difficult lipstick, but again, I'm not upset for trying it out because I've always wanted to try the brand. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content on this channel, please subscribe. If you've got a suggestion for a video you'd like to see me do, please put that down in the comments below. There'll be additional IMATS videos and what else I picked out, and some product demos, including all of the Kat Von D brow products coming up for the next few days. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye!